dear students. So you have already heard and listened regarding Mangrove for the Future. So this is actually, as a whole, the mangrove, the story of mangrove forest. And a little bit introduction I will start with. I would say actually Bangladesh is the synonym for mangrove forest and also the wetlands. It's actually a great pleasure for me to be here today in front of the students and the faculty members. We are talking about mangrove forest. I think a little bit of know regarding the mangrove forest by knowing the Sundarban, definitely. So Sundarban is our nature mangrove forest, which is the world's largest mangrove forest in one area, in one chunk. There are mangrove forests in many parts of the world. If collectively, Indonesia has the largest mangrove forest area, but in one chunk, the Sundarban is the largest mangrove forest. The characteristics of the mangrove forest, it's a fragile forest ecosystem, and most important ecosystem from biodiversity point of view, and also unique because it's different from the terrestrial forest. There are a lot of efforts have been taken already to improve its habitat, to improve the ecosystem. And many of you definitely know that this forest, mangrove forest, acts as a most important carbon sink. And it acts as a carbon sink more than the terrestrial forest. Worldwide, mangrove forest is under pressure in many countries due to settlement, due to agriculture, fish ponds. And Bangladesh also has the almost similar kind of situations, but we are a little bit better. At least for the Sundarban, our boundary is very confirmed. So at least within the Sundarban, there is no encroachment. But the man-made mangrove forest, which I will also touch a little bit about it, it's a planted mangrove forest, which the forest department actually created this forest from 1960s. I will tell you that story as well. So there are some success stories as well in different countries. Vietnam, Sri Lanka, they are doing very good with the restoration and also expanding the mangrove forest. Vietnam, they destroyed their mangrove forest twice. Once during the war, one kind of chemicals is sprayed to defoliate the forest so that everything can be visible. And second time, they destroyed themselves by encroaching the land, by encroaching the mangrove forest for shrimp and also for settlement. But they have seen later that only shrimp cultivation is no good because the shrimps get viral infection and other diseases. But along with the mangrove forest, it grows very well. So they realized later, and now they have already changed their situation. They have restored the mangrove forest, and the government is very keen now to restore the mangrove forest, and they introduce a kind of legislation that they have allocated 10 hectares, 12 hectares, 20 hectares lands to the farmers. Mandatory is that they have to keep 70% mangrove forest and 30 to 40% water body. And within the water body, they can do shrimp, clam, any kinds of fish and even white fish as well. So, little bit of mangrove forest let's start with the nature mangrove forest Sundarban. You all know this. It's the largest mangrove forest and there are a lot of diversity of the faunal species. I mean, 700 I mean from small to large. I mean, whole diversity. But mangrove forest also is a unique forest. If you count the number of the flora at least, you will see much less than the terrestrial forests. Commercially important species, not more than 30. So, some floral varieties, and also there are forests, you cannot just lock it. So it's also serves as a ecosystem services. It's a supply of nutrition, supply of many kinds of wood products. So there are almost, for the Sundarban at least, almost near about 3.5 million people directly or indirectly dependent on the Sundarban products. But I still say that the boundary of the Bangladesh Sundarban is confined within the area. It's 10,000 square kilometer, 60% and 40%, 60% we own and 40% on the other side of the country. And we have 5 wildlife sanctuaries, and this forest declared as a reserve forest first in this area in 1875, when the reserve forest regulation started by the British regime. There are other forests. This is totally man-made forest, coastal afforestation, through coastal afforestation. It's a very hard job. You have seen a little bit how we create this forest. In 1960s, there was a severe storm hit this Bangladesh part during Delhi and East Pakistan. Severe damage happened at that time. Lot of life casualties, damage of properties, and the government called everyone. How we can mitigate this, how we can handle this kind of situation. Definitely everybody came with different kind of solutions, and there were suggestions for engineering structure as well, dam, embankment, or many things else. But after calculation, it has been seen that it's very expensive venture. To meet those kind of things in the country will be a very expensive one. They called also our old foresters from the forest department. They said that, okay, give us a land, we can try. They took the example from the Sundarban, and they have seen one species that can grow in the sandy beaches. What is this species? That species is, we locally call it Keora. Scientific botanical name is Sonaracia epitala. So they took that example and they said that definitely we can help to grow that in our accredited coastal lands. So this is not only a sand there, it's a mixture of sand and clay, and that percentage is very important where that species can only survive. In sandy beaches you see Casuarina, Jhao, but this species of Sonaracia epitala, Keora, can only grow in the mixture with good percentages of sand and clay.